There's no vultures there at all, but there's really not a lot of units for Jangbi. Oh man, but that's so many tanks. I really don't know what's gonna happen in that battle. I think we should show that battle somewhere. This is interesting right here. Oh, okay.
Oh, but he has the close.
Jangbi's gonna break it. Yeah, Jangbi's gonna break it. Gets one more stasis off. He's at the very least gonna be able to harass this command center, pick off some SCVs, and wow, take a really ballsy expansion there. Oh, nice storm. Oh man, that's a lot of SCVs going down. And this is what you can do, man. That's what these earlier arbiters and giving the Protoss map control. Like, this is the problem. I mean, he's just got so many fucking stasises and recalls. I mean, he's pretty much constantly stasising and recalling and attacking everywhere. And this is really tough for FrOzean. I mean, he never gets a chance to clump up his 200 army and use it all at the same time. He has to constantly fight all these small battles. I mean, another stasis going off. I mean, it seems like he's almost has unlimited arbiter use. Like, he can just do whatever he wants whenever he wants. And I mean, even though FrOzean, I think, played really well, get those bases up, and he managed to hold off the first attacks, he's just getting picked apart here. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse for him. And it's not just what FrOzean's doing, and it's not just Protoss and Terran. Jangbi's also doing an extremely good job. I mean, Jangbi's just playing excellent to do this to FrOzean. I mean, he's just all over the place, and his macro has been pretty much flawless. Oh, there's a Zealot in the fucking natural now. So things are just getting worse and worse for FrOzean.
And that's the sign of just a really good PvT player. Jangbi just had an excellent balance of tech, units, and expansions. And even though it seemed like Jangbi was real slow on expansions, I mean, he played really safe, really conservative, and he was able to get his Arbiter tech out really, really quickly while still keeping a pretty good gateway count. And, well, it seemed like the fourth was late, at least in comparison to FrOzean's third base, but Jangbi definitely didn't overexpand, is what I was saying. And he was really... for a whole 20 minutes, Jangbi was really never vulnerable to any sort of timing push, and Jangbi did excellent scouting the entire way and just played a really safe game. And I'm not really sure what FrOzean's game plan is here. I mean, he took his natural pretty standard, then took a really quick third, and from there, I mean, he was pretty much forced to defend the entire game, and he really never got to plan anything. I guess he was just at the point where he wanted to max out and push, and he was probably banking on the fact that Jangbi was going to go for some sort of mid-game or early-game attack so that he could get an advantage and then max out and push and do some damage. But going into the late game versus a player of Jangbi, I think Jangbi, even though I would say Stork is probably one of the better PvT players, statistically Jangbi's PvT is one of the strongest, I think, ever. I think Jangbi has the highest PvT win rate of any Protoss right now.
Oh, what a stasis.
And, wow, good stasis there. 5 tanks go down, but, I mean, this is just a nightmare for FrOzean. There's no way he can defend that base. Now that Jangbi was able to take out so many units, Jangbi has more gateways. He's going to be able to reinforce that so much better. And it's just going to be an endless stream of units here coming from Jangbi. And, wow, so GG, Jangbi is so far the first winner of a 2-0 in the round of 16 of the MSL. So even though I think everyone predicted this, you know, I've been really surprised. We've been seeing a lot of exciting close games, even from players that we really didn't think. And even though this game, I think, was pretty one-sided, the first game, FrOzean definitely put up a really good game.
No, but you know what? I think FrOzean did a lot of things right here as well. And FrOzean showed that he's not a pushover in terms of, you know, Jangbi can't just trample him and walk all over him. And FrOzean does a lot of things right, and he keeps up. But once it gets to this late game stage, Jangbi is just too strong. I mean, FrOzean just can't keep up, and it's happened twice in a row. I mean, FrOzean manages to hold his own for a while, but eventually Jangbi finds something to exploit. He finds some kind of foothold, or FrOzean makes one mistake, and then basically from that point, Jangbi just kind of tramples him and goes all over him. And I mean, Jangbi's PvT is just really excellent, like you were saying. I mean, he's definitely in the top 3. Oh, another good stasis. Well, not that great, but just when you have such a huge army, I mean, there's just no way that FrOzean's going to be able to hold this off. He's just going to keep getting more and more macro. But yeah, for Jangbi's definitely in the top 3 PvT in the world. I think Jangbi, Stork, and Bisu, I think these 3 guys have incredible PvTs right now, and all of them are playing great. And I'd put Jangbi up in that class, at least in PvT. I would put him up there with those guys. Stork and Bisu might still be a little better, especially Stork, but the way Jangbi's been playing lately, I mean, I haven't seen him lose to a Terran in a long time. I really don't think that any Terran is much of a threat. I don't think any Terran in this MSL right now is a threat to take out Jangbi. I think the only Terran who really has PvP good enough is Flash, and Flash has already been knocked out. I mean, Nada, who knows? Nada is such a like, I mean, Nada could do anything really, but in terms of pure skill level at this moment, Jangbi's just on another level. Yeah, and GG, finally. I mean, yeah, what can you really say? Jangbi, as soon as he gets the smallest kind of advantage, smallest opening, he just totally pounces all over him, and he's basically unstoppable.
That's not what Bisu says. But yeah, Jangbi, he's definitely a contender to win the MSL, just like you said. I mean, his PvT is really good, but who else is there? I think in the finals, if Jangbi makes it to the finals, I think we're going to see an excellent game. There's lots of players on the other side of the bracket. You know, Lita versus Jangbi, or if we see Savior in the finals versus Jangbi. But I think Jangbi, is playing Stork. I think Stork is really the only person that would give Jangbi a hard time. But if Jangbi manages to beat Stork, I think Jangbi is a contender for the finals. And just his play has been so good, but all around, like his PvZ is really good too. I mean, his PvP, even though it definitely isn't bad, but it isn't really the S-class level that his other matchups is.
I'd say it is. Don't be fooled by stats, man. This is one of these cases where stats don't show the full picture, because he's recently played 2 best-of-5s against Bisu and lost them both. Like, he's been playing so much PvP against the other guys, like, right now. Like, okay, 6 of those losses that he has right now are to Bisu in the finals of a Star League. So, I mean, you take away those 6 losses and his PvP stats look a lot different. His PvP might not be quite as close to the other guys as his other matchups, but, like, I still pick him as a favorite over anyone other than Bisu and Stork. So,
well, the only other Protoss still in this MSL is Stork. So I guess when I said PvP, I was kind of relating to specifically the Jangbi versus Stork matchup, but I agree. He's one of those guys, and I think I would almost compare him to Stork, where, like, Stork's PvZ, it's pretty good. Like, statistically, it doesn't look as good, but I mean, Stork is a guy who constantly finishes so far in Star Leagues, and to play the best Protosses and the best Zergs in the world and still keep an above 50% win rate shows that it's still an excellent PvP. So yeah, I mean, that wasn't specifically, I guess, what I was saying, and I didn't go out and say it, but I would think Stork would be the favorite, seeing Stork versus Jangbi. But, you know, nonetheless, Jangbi moves on. And so we have 2 more games. We've seen all TVPs so far tonight, and we actually have 3 Zergs and a Protoss. We have Yark versus Zero, and we have Stork versus Quanro. So, I mean, unless you have anything else to say, I thought that game was pretty straightforward. I think the better player moved on, and I think we can move on as well.
No, I mean, that sums it up. The better player did win. Jangbi's a beast. Let's move on to the next series. Next we got Luxury versus... Oh no, sorry, not Luxury.
Yark?
We got Yarnak versus Mensal. They are twin brothers. Yarnak versus Mensal 0. So let's move on to the next series. Hope you enjoyed the games, guys. Peace out.
Yeah, see you later.